You getting that caffeinated this late in the game.
This ain't late. With waking up, I'm taking the middle of the night shift, so some nights I stay up, some nights I just sleep until it's that time, and then I'm usually up for like 3 hours because for some reason she likes to do all her activity at nighttime.
Huh.
All her office work's got to be done at nighttime.
That nocturnal baby.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Did you hear what happened recently with the risk of rain?
No.
Guys, it's heartbreaking.
Okay.
You know Risk of Rain 2, right, Fonz?
I know the game, but I haven't actually played it.
Oh, okay. So it's like one of my favorite roguelikes that I've ever played. Like, it's just the flow of the game is just super good. The items are good. It's always just been awesome.
A good game.
But the recent, I think this year, beginning of the year, Hopo, the developers, sold the game to Gearbox, which is the, Borderlands and all that. And they made the update, the DLC called Seekers of the Storm. And with the update, they also tried to unify the code base. So they basically took the console code from PS4 or PS5 and Xbox and went over all of the PC code on the Steam release and unified it to be console code because I guess it was like easier. But they, with the update and the DLC, so that they pushed the DLC and this mandatory update on the same day. So the DLC alone, people are saying it's like all right, it's not terrible, good. It's just kind of there. The items don't really have synergy, but the update completely broke the game. There's now like 400 bugs, and the Risk of Rain pacing is off balance. The items, if you get certain item combinations, the game just breaks and shuts off. There's like certain things that happens with enemies, whereas like if an enemy falls off an edge, your game will just break. They ported over a known bug with PlayStation, whereas like if the game shuts off like mid-run and then you start it back up, there's a chance that it'll just delete your save data. And they ported that bug over to PC, which I guess I heard they just recently fixed it. But yeah, so there's like 400 new bugs now when before there was like none. And it's like mostly negative on Steam now versus being overwhelmingly positive. It went downhill in like 2 weeks.
Sounds about right.
Yay.
All because the game was sold to people who don't care, money hungry.
Yeah, I think Gearbox is owned by Xbox, so money, money, money.
I just feel like leave the PC version alone. Like if you're gonna do something like that.
Well,
Leave it alone.
It probably would have jacked up all the mods that were already written for it too, right? I mean,
oh, super jacked up.
Oh yeah,
Jacked up beyond belief.
You basically have to run when you play with the mod manager, R2 mod man, I think you can do like you can run releases. You might even be able to run releases in Steam, but you'd have to run like the update before the recent one to actually play the game because I guess the game is like unplayable. The graphics are terrible now. You can't play over 30 FPS on some boss fights. You have to like turn your performance and DLSS like way down just to even hit like 30 FPS on like the boss fights when there's too much going on. Whereas before it was fine. I think Cameron and I only had like one issue ever when we were on this map with like hundreds of guys like out, but even then it was fine.
There's the coffee.
Yeah, it's ready now. So they just ruined like a lot of people's favorite games and no one's happy about it.
Gotcha.
Well, that sucks.
I'm going to put some milk in this and I'm ready to go.
All right. I learned that coffee, like caffeine, doesn't actually hit your system until about 15 minutes after you drink it. But when you take a sip of hot coffee, it wakes you up because it raises your internal temperature or surrounding your brain a little bit. So like that initial like, oh, this coffee is life is actually because of the temperature, not because of the caffeine yet.
Mm.
Just fun facts. I
Guess
guess.
that explains why it takes my coffee a while to kick in at all, because I usually drink it cold.
That'll do it.
I'll do it.
Is he actually ready, or is he mixing that creamer?
No, he's not at his desk if he was getting coffee, so.
Yeah.
You're not at your desk.
I am. I've been at my desk since 10:42.
I'm at my desk. I've been here since 10:54. Welcome to the A4NB4Y podcast, the Legend of Zelda theme podcast where we go chapter by chapter through the games. We are currently covering Minish Cap, and this week we're going to make our way to Mount Crenel. I am your host, Ryan Fonzie, and I am the temperature of your coffee. And with me, as always...
My name is Anthony, and it's huge, Buffalo, huge.
Is it though?
Not really, actually. They're probably bad deals.
And I'm Jihibidi Bibidi Bebidi, and I'm the Hibbidi Boobidi.
Uh-oh. Somebody get the jabbernut.
Jibbidi Hibbidi Jabbidi.
I'm speaking in tongues. Need...
Hibbidi Boobidi Bibidi Bop.
What kind of coffee do you have? Is that jabbernut coffee? Can you translate?
Yes, I actually have a purple dragon coffee.
Jibbidi?
So don't think I can translate him.
Hibbidi?
If you had any purple dragons, I got you, but
Well,
not this
here's the thing.
nonsense.
It's 2-1. I think he needs to eat the jabbernut at this point.
And I'm back in my right mind.
All right,
Oh,
great.
he ate a jabbernut.
You got it. Wow. All right. So, guys, this is a run-up. This isn't like an actual like dungeon episode. This is a run-up episode where we talk about stuff that happens between the dungeons. That being said, I think we left off with the hurdy-gurdy man last time.
Hurdy-gurdy.
Mhm.
So, I mean, the next thing to do basically is to just explore town. There's a guard that won't let us leave because we're not powerful enough yet. So for me, this meant I was just gonna wander around, kind of see what was open and what wasn't in town. So
I got me a bag.
All right.
I got them bags, man. I'm rich.
Oh, the rupee bag.
Yeah.
I think I made a mistake with that.
Oh.
I done went to the bake shop and I ate all my rupees.
Oh no.
So then I couldn't buy the rupee bag, and it felt bad.
So what does the baked goods do for you? Because I considered buying them, but I didn't.
So the baked goods are kinstone, like possible kinstones. You buy it, you eat it. Sometimes there's a kinstone, sometimes there's not. The more you spend, the more likely you are to get a good kinstone, and the more likely you are to get a kinstone in general. So,
Do you know if it's like a
like
one-time
gamble.
thing, or is it like just always you can always just farm
the
kinstones?
bake shop's always open. If you have rupees, you can just keep buying baked goods. But It
Oh.
is a good way to trade rupees for kinstones. It might not be the best way. We could talk about. There is another way. It's just not open yet. But yeah, that's what the bake shop's for. It's a kinstone farm.
I ran around everywhere before I found this guard, or before I talked to him, should I say. I went above Hyrule, couldn't get nowhere. I went below Hyrule, I couldn't get nowhere. I couldn't get nowhere until I went into town and was like, oh, I can take this path here. And then I found Mr. Guardman.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, just duel me. You think I need sword techniques? I'll fight you. Like, I'll prove.
The guards have been
Yeah.
doing this since. Well, actually, back in the day, it was Mito who was like, "You ain't even armed. How you gonna go see that great Deku Tree?" And then it was Majora's Mask, and there were guards all over town like, you can't do nothing. You're a kid." And then you had a sword, and they were like, "Oh, hold up, this
Dude's
kid's
got a
unfinished
sword.
business." I mean, I guess, and he'd let you out.
It does make a little more sense though, because at least now you can defend yourself. This guy's like, yeah, I don't know if your technique's good enough. I don't even know how I know that by looking at you, but you don't have enough sword techniques. Like,
Yeah,
that's
and
some
then-
arbitrary
You
nonsense.
ain't got that tiger scroll, man.
Goodness.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, the rupee wallet's a good thing to stop by and do. I mean, and if you haven't wasted all your stuff on the bakery, there's a shoe shop you can get into, but you can't do anything in there yet.
Ah,
There's a magical upside down pot. This is the thing that I will say kind of ran into a bunch in this run up. There's like other ways to grow and shrink. One that we'll get to later is like there are rocks that have cracks in them.
Heck yeah.
But in the town of Hyrule, there are these big blue. They're actually like vases, pots that are flipped upside down. And I guess keep that in mind because I didn't know that that's what that was the first time I ever played this game. And because of that, I got stuck for a long time later on in the game. So, I guess just if you see a big blue thing with a crack in the top, that's supposed to be a pot. The game's not entirely clear about that.
graphic
I
issue.
don't remember seeing one of those.
But there was one in the shoe shop. The shoemaker falls asleep, and then you see the shoes start dancing around on the table. And kind of the joke is like, yeah, there's Minish living right in his shop, like doing his work for him.
Oh,
He even makes a comment. He's like, "Wow, I get these shoes done in my sleep. I must be a really good shoemaker." It's like, nah, you probably bad. It's just the shoes get done. Actually,
Yeah.
you can see the Minish if you climb up the ladder. Even though you can't get past the shoes, you can see the Minish guy doing the stuff. He's like blue looking.
Right. Yeah, I think we get the ability to get past that shoe later on, but for now we just can't talk to him yet.
Mm.
But I mean, I guess a little bit of a spoiler from someone who's played the game before. There's actually a bunch of Minish in town in different houses, and you can actually see little ladders and little paths that kind of go between the buildings that are meant to be used when you're a Minish. But a lot of those waypoints, a lot of those like bridges and stuff, just aren't accessible to us yet. So we will be doing much more Minish adventuring inside of Hyrule Town down the line.
there was also like there was a Minish like little house just in town. I'm like,
Yeah.
guys, look. Like, imagine you're walking through a town, you're just on a road, and there's just a bump in the road with a little hole in it. And is nobody mentioning this? And what's this bump about? A kid tripped over it yesterday. Maybe we should do it. No, it's invisible. Like, what?
Yep.
I can understand you not thinking it's a house, but it's a random bump with a hole in it that just appeared, and no one's just, oh, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Like, oh, guys,
The thing
the
that gets
oversight.
me is when you move the bookcase in the bar or the tavern, there's just a giant ladder, just a huge old ladder going up to a Minish hole, and it's like, what? How did none of y'all see this?
Right.
Hey, we got some crazy spiders around these parts building ladders and stuff.
I didn't think them spiders needed ladders, but
I guess
it
they
makes
got
life
8
easier.
legs. They make them pretty quick, so I wish I had 8 legs.
It's like, man, those construction workers really put my place back together wonky.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're not the brightest.
They charge extra for the Minish houses.
Oh, jeez.
They don't even know what they are. They're just like, well, your wall was weird before, so we made it weird again. That'll be a bajillion rupees, please.
It's like, while you're building the living room, you want to just, like, put a little ladder up to a hole and make a whole nother small house in the wall, just cause? Is that cool? We think we do that? How much extra are we talking?
Yeah. I mean, okay, so some other things of note. There are a couple places that are closed. We can't even go to yet. One of them is a hotel. One of them is a game shop of some kind. There's also a school that is for some reason in session, and Link's not a part of it. So Link is either, I guess, he's beyond school age. He's like
He's homeschooled.
Well, he's an apprentice now, right? So I would
homesmith.
imagine that's what you do after you're out of primary school, right? In this lore, in this landscape.
It's 12 in Hyrule.
Like you learn how to read when you're little, and then once you got that down, they're like, all right, now go learn from whatever your parents, whatever they do. Or, your grandpa. Depending.
Link wasn't affluent enough to afford school.
Oh no.
Just got dark. Kidding.
Master Smith said, nah, you don't need that. I got all
You just
the
need to hit
education."
hammer.
Right. There's a library. I don't even know if you can get into it. I feel like there's somebody in front of it or something like that. And there's a postal shop that doesn't really do anything yet, but it's there.
You can also talk to the mayor. And when you
yeah,
walk in, is it Enzo?
I don't remember what the mayor's name is, but maybe.
Okay. So the Minish Cap basically comes up, or Eslo, I think it's Eslo.
Oh,
and
right. That's on our head, yeah.
He's like, hey, Link, this mayor guy, I'm not really getting a good vibe from him. I don't think we should talk to him. It's like, oh, we just got here, dude. What's going on? And then you talk to the mayor, and I don't remember what the request was that he actually wanted, but it didn't seem like there was any ill intent behind him. So I was kind of just confused why Eslo said that.
He seems to be interested in strange masks. I know that was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like 4 of them on the wall behind him.
That's right.
Majora's Mask?
Yeah, I don't know. None of them look like the masks from Majora's Mask, but they're there.
Dang it.
Yeah.
He's the happy mask mayor.
I mean, kind of. I mean, he also has like a dungeon under his house, so there's that.
Yo.
You go down there now, I think you can get a kinstone, maybe. I don't remember what he has, but it's a treasure chest, and then you see some like glowy squares on the ground that you can't do anything with yet, so you just kind of have to turn around and leave. But later on, you can go further and further into that underground spot next to his house. I don't remember how that all plays out, but yeah, Mayor's doing his thing. It's interesting that the only town, like Hyrule Town, right, has a mayor when just north there's a king in a castle that rules over the entire land. Like, it's a really close-knit political structure. I'm not really sure
delegation at its finest.
Right? It's like, you take care of the town. I'm going to take care of this castle. It's like, okay, great.
No, I think of it like king takes care of military and economy, like trade maybe, and then the mayor just takes care of like town, make sure everyone's happy, does town hall meetings or whatever.
I think there are statues of the mayor in front of the school, so yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
so maybe it's just like the like England where they're just figureheads.
It's It's actually a minish under his hat controlling him like Ratatouille.
Picotui.
Pulling
I don't think
on
that's
his
the
hairs.
case.
Ah, darn it. Don't ruin my dreams.
But I guess the one pinnacle place. I mean, if there's chicken chasing if you're really into that. But other than that, of this whole part is our friend Swiftblade. Swiftblade is the first of a set of sword masters who lives in town and can teach us the spin attack.
The secret family technique.
We learn
Right.
it through the most odd way we possibly could have.
Right. So
My guy,
humans have these things called mirror neurons, right? Where we can watch someone move or make a gesture or an expression and just instinctually know what muscles we need to move to kind of do a similar thing. Like it's just kind of built in where we can learn from imitating. This is a blasphemous version of that.
this is Shadow Possession Jutsu. We have Shikamaru Blade teaching us.
Yeah, he's just flexing on how powerful he is.
Pretty much.
He's like, the best way you can learn it is to just feel it when I possess you and make you do the move.
Says, I'm going to send my spirit into you and possess your body and do the move in your body so you can really feel it. Then you got this. I'm just sitting there like physical little text box appears above my head with an ellipsis in it. I'm like, are we really?
Exactly. Like it's not. It's such a weird premise. I don't know why. Don't know why they did this.
Seems like a random joke.
I guess.
Like, because it was so over the top, it had to basically be a joke. It couldn't just be, hey, watch me do this. Now you try. That's what you would like expect. It's this whole over the top, nonsensical thing. I just don't know why they wanted to put it in there. It seems like a weird place for like just a random little weird joke like that.
Right. Because I mean, as far as I can tell, okay. So if we do a little rewind, they never pieced these things together, right? But why would the Swift Blades not have been at the sword fighting tournament, fighting Vati? Right.
Maybe he's not allowed.
But then why wasn't he
Not allowed
there?
tournament?
He should have been there as a guard for the ceremony, though, because they're like letting somebody they don't know touch the seal for the most powerful and evil thing in the whole kingdom. And they have these Swiftblade guys here, but they're just at home taking a nap. And they're not. It's the big sword fight thing. Shouldn't they be there at the ceremony at the end of it? I can understand them not being allowed to participate because they're supposed to be super masters of it. But they
Right.
should have been there. They should
You
have
think they-
defended something.
Yeah, you think they would have been like judges or something.
Plot. The plot is too strong.
There's so many holes in this plot, is what I'm feeling. I mean, I guess the thing I was gonna say is this possession technique seems like it would be something that could have been used to stop Vati. Like that would have been an emergency case use that would have been perfect for possessing people. But no.
Once Vati opened his mouth about touching the sword and releasing everything, and just boop, possessed. What you gonna do?
Shadow Possession Jutsu.
Yeah.
So our plot's thin as paper, it's fine.
Yeah. So we get our family secret technique. Now we understand how the family got it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe Swiftblade's secretly a link.
Oh, geez.
I don't know.
Plot's
It's a lot
getting thicker
going on.
again.
Link never knew his father because it turns out it was Swiftblade the whole time.
I
Swiftblade is
love it.
very into his training.
Worst dad of the year, Swiftblade.
But we can go show off this fancy new technique to the guard, and he will let us leave town, which is wonderful. Once we do, I mean, Listen, I don't want to try to describe the whole map here or anything, but we start heading our way towards the Crenel base, and on the way there, there's a few things that we kind of want to grab. And by a few things, I mean one thing, and that's a bottle.
Yeah.
If you go up, you kind of go towards the mountain. You go down, you can find a ladder. Yeah, ladder leads to a bomb wall, leads to a Deku scrub, leads to empty bottle for 20 rupees. Which
I
is
did get that.
Rip
Yeah.
off.
Well, you do need it.
Yeah. I actually totally missed it and went north and walked a little ways, and there's another cave in the something highlands that you can get to, and there's another Deku scrub there who you beat him, and he's like, fine, I'll tell you a secret. My friend from where you just came from has a bottle, or I think it was like he's like got a gift for you, and I'm like,
Got an item you need to proceed, he says.
all the way back. I got the item, proceeded back.
Yeah, it's a weird choice to do it that way. This is just my personal commentary, I guess, but especially if you got the bottle already to go fight a scrub who then tells you about something you already have, like, oh, I got a secret, but you already know it. It's like, cool guy. Don't know
Yeah.
this conversation.
I guess I just missed the crack in the wall next to the fire down there. Pretty easily missed. Wasn't paying attention.
I missed it as well. But I kind of agree with what Fon says. Like, they could have just given you the bottle with the one that told you about his friend, and then just had his friend have like 50 rupees or a fairy or something.
Yeah. And isn't there more to that cave too that we just can't do yet? So it's like a really weird place to put him in a cave that like has more stuff later on, I'm assuming. But yeah, I don't know. You can start scooping water up, which is super nice. And playing Majora's Mask before this, and I believe Ocarina had this mechanic, but when you see beans, you know to water them.
Beans.
There's like a bunch of example beans just in
Yeah.
some water with full vines, and then a sprout that is in need of some water to make a vine.
Yeah, and the wall right next to the little sprout has the exact line of where it's going to grow to already in it. It's just not there. They like
Well,
couldn't have made it more obvious than it was.
my Crenel's got a real crazy ecology. Okay, it's just sometimes the mountain knows where the vine's gonna grow.
It does.
I mean, maybe these are like perennial flowers, and there was a vine there before, and then it died and made a seed, and now you gotta water the seed to grow the same vine in the same spot.
Sounds about right.
Powerful vine working into the rock to leave like a permanent mark in it.
You gotta be
That's
tough
what I
to
do.
survive on Mount Crenel.
I suppose so. Call that
Hey,
the
Mo.
Titan vine.
Mount
Oh,
Crenel
yeah.
over here almost killed me, man.
Mount Crenel is serious business.
It is.
There's some stuff going on.
Yeah, I just having read a walkthrough of this, I realized I missed a lot on Mount Crenel.
Yeah. Yeah,
Me
there's a
too.
few things I missed too. And you
It's
can't
just-
go back either.
No,
No, I mean we can get to that later, but yeah, once you get to the next Minish village, you're kind of railroaded from going backwards for the time being.
Sure.
So, not good.
well, yeah, we'll deal with that when the time comes. But I mean, the thing is, the game about halfway up this mountain, if not all the way, you basically get a big old shortcut to go from the base to the top and with like Mach speed. So
It's true.
yeah. But before we get there, there's a few other little mysteries we gotta solve.
You ready to jump into stationary little mini tornadoes?
Well, that's one of them.
Definitely fun.
to a little like just wisp tornado, and Eslo's like, "Yo, I got an idea.
He's
You're
like,
gonna,
this might be
you're
great.
gonna have to trust me. Hold on to my edges and just jump into that tornado." I'm like, Eslo, you madman, let's do this.
Let's do it.
Die Hard.
And it becomes like a Wind Waker esque nonsense. Like in that game, you had a big old leaf. In this game, you gotta inflate it as low, and you can just kind of glide around with your crazy hat.
Breath of the Minish.
The controls aren't amazing, but they work.
Nope.
They do what they're supposed to do, and that's about all they need to. So, luckily,
Every
this
time
is
I
mechanic.
took that tornado, the first one, to get to the second tornado, even though I never fell once, I had to do it about 5 times because I did a bunch of backtracking with the next thing that I'm sure we'll talk about. But yeah, every time I did, I was anxious. Even though I never fell once, I was anxious that I was never going to make it to that second one because of like you have to go over, then up, and it's just, oh my goodness. It was so scary.
Yeah,
But
it does kind of look like you're gonna fall.
Right.
But speaking of the next thing, we go through some dead trees and some desert, some like spiky dust bunnies, which I'm not really sure what the Nintendo was trying to convey with what those
Yeah.
are, but you can suck them up. And we get to a rock wall that the game very clearly says you can blast through the wall, even though they say blasting is strictly prohibited. We all know we don't follow rules in Zelda. So
Yeah. So this wall, I mean, this is actually part of why I missed a bunch of stuff looking at this walkthrough. There are some walls that are very clearly like, look, there was a hole here, we clogged it with some rocks, you can blow it up. It's a bomb wall. It's very obvious. And then there are some old school bomb walls,
yeah,
like from back in the day when there weren't really visual indicators and you just kind of had to look at what was around the wall.
Yeah, you kind of get a sense for when there's just a random spot of the wall that's just big enough for an opening for you to walk through, and they left that part empty. You're like,
Yeah. So this one with the sign that's like, yeah, don't be blasting. Like clearly, you got to disobey the sign and blast that wall. But there's a couple other ones around here too that have secrets in them that are similar. Some of them don't even have signs or anything. They just have what Anthony just enough space. But or sorry,
I
what
think there was
Keanu
a heart container in one of them I found.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wonder if they kept the like the sword tapping trick, where if you
Ooh, I don't know.
like
Is it a
strike
different
the
sound?
wall, is it a different sound? I haven't checked it, so I don't know. But that was like the Legend of Zelda original type nonsense. So yeah, I just don't know. I missed a lot of these walls. I guess is what I'm saying.
I found, I think, 3 of them, so I don't know if I found them all, but
Nice.
I felt pretty good about it.
Cool. But yeah, this one that Anthony's talking about leads us to a little Minish excursion, I guess, where we have to like blow open a path and then shrink down and make our way to some Mount Crenel mineral water.
and it's green.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's on a timer.
I
No,
don't think
Sure
so.
about that.
I walked around with that stuff for like 30 minutes and has not cooled down.
Gotcha. Okay.
Still piping hot.
Still piping hot. Great. Because it didn't like put up a timer or anything, so I just didn't know. But I tried to like rush the puzzle that it goes to, and let me just tell you, I had to go get more mineral water.
Oh, did you do
work
the
out
thing
as
that I
expected.
did?
Probably.
You guys doing
okay. So let's just talk about this puzzle because it's kind of a continuous thing. I mean, this is like you get the water, then you do the tornado jumps, you do some cave dwelling, you climb some more mountain, and then you get to a bean, right? There's some special beans that require special mineral water. They don't want the regular stuff. They just want the mineral water.
Silly.
I think there's even a Minish nearby that tells you about this.
He does. That's how I knew.
Yeah, you have to vacuum off his roof.
This is true.
Right. Yeah. So you vacuum off the roof, you go talk to the Minish, you can go grab a bean and move it around as a Minish in comical fashion. What I did was I found the bean and immediately tried to water it.
I did the same thing. I got so excited. It's like, I got green mineral water. Pour. Oh.
Yeah, that's
You
not
silly guys.
that's not what the game wanted. They wanted you to go put the bean in a hole and then grow back to normal size so you could fill the hole with mineral water. Because one little jar, Minish-sized jar of mineral water is not gonna make a bean grow. So yeah, fun times. I think it was pretty comical watching Link carry the bean as a Minish because that bean's like way bigger than he is.
It's like 200 times his size, and he's just running with it on, like holding it in both hands, just above him. Like it should squish him, but nah.
Link is like all of the Pikmin combined.
He's got that purple Pikmin power, bro.
Oh man. With the power of 75 purple Pikmin, it's lit.
Wow.
But that does get us to the next zone, which is Mount Crenel, because that was just the base. If you thought we were in Mount Crenel, you're wrong.
You were wrong.
Right.
And there's some more stuff to do and some more falling rocks, which is totally like a Death Mountain callback from the original Legend of Zelda. In fact, this entire time, I don't know if you got this, Fonz. I know you don't think. I don't think you remember playing this, Cameron. But the OG Zelda, like this is very much like that zone because it was like falling rocks and just the tektites and everything that were in that zone. It's like they did a direct callback. It was super weird.
Yeah.
It was cool
I
though.
mean, they did some of that stuff in Ocarina too. Like it's
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's
right in
the-
that like
it's
Death
the
Mountain
Mount
lead up.
Doom thing. Yeah, Death Mountain. Except this is Mount Crenel. Just different.
Mount Crenel.
Death Cradle.
Death Crenel.
Death Crenel. I wonder if the word Crenel means anything. Now you got me wondering. Seems like it was just a made up word for. Oh, snap. Hold on. An indentation in the battlements of a fort or castle used for shooting or firing missiles through. Heyo. It's
Well,
like
that's the thing.
it's like when you see castling, like you know how like the top of a castle wall has like the square cut.
Mm-hmm.
The openings in the square cut are called Crenels. What in the world?
So
Minish are going to war.
like fire ports, like fire holes for cannons and stuff.
I guess it's the lower part of the castling. So yeah, they would stick a cannon through it, or you just be an archer. Like you use them. Yeah, okay, so the whole thing is the battlement, right? And you use the Crenel to shoot through, and you use the Merlin to hide behind.
Does it have to be a castle though? Like, what if you had a pirate ship
Doesn't
and you have a
have-
hole and that's where you stick the cannon? Would that also be a Crenel?
It doesn't have to be a castle.
That's the porthole.
All the
I don't
examples
know.
I'm seeing are of castles, but I wouldn't imagine it would have to be a castle.
Cool.
Based on the definition, like it doesn't. Well, actually, definition does say of a fort or castle, so I guess
Oh.
if it's on a ship, it would be called something else.
Darn.
Wow. Okay. So I don't know where the Crenels of this mountain are. I mean, I know there are rocks coming at us live and direct. So
Maybe the Crenels are all the holes that were bombing, and they were actually a battlement. And I'm just kidding. I'm going way too far into it.
Maybe the Crenels are the friends we made along the way.
there we go. We got there eventually. So, all right. The more you know. Fun facts about Mount Crenel. The whole place is one big opening to shoot through. That's why the rocks are falling.
Beautiful.
But yeah, I mean, we do some adventuring, we do some cave diving, we do some stuff. Eventually, we find another business scrub, and he gives us the grip ring.
Now we
He doesn't
climb.
give it to us. He's
No,
making us
sells
poor out
grip
here.
ring for 40 rupees.
Making us poor out here, man.
Well, we need it.
We need it, but I spent 20 on the, or sorry, I spent 100 on the big wallet bag. I got like 40 rupees. And then like by the time I got up here, I had probably like 60 again. And then I spent 20 on the bottle. And then I got some more rupees, and then I spent them on the bomb bags. And so when I got here, I only had like 30, so I had to go rupee farming. I'm poor out here, even though I can hold 300 rupees.
You talking about the big bomb bag? I thought that was a fairy fountain where you got the other bomb bag.
No, I'm talking about the rupee bag.
Oh, the rupee
In
bag.
town, I bought it, and it's like 100 rupees, so I became poor immediately.
Yeah. Sorry. So by looking at this walkthrough, I think I may have done this in my first time playthrough, but I forgot to do it here. As you're climbing the actual Mount Crenel wall where the boulders are falling, which is what we do with this grip ring once we have it. Also, just side note, it also opens up a nice shortcut to get back down the base pretty fast if you need to go back down for whatever reason.
And Link becomes an Olympic climber overnight.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah, he's a good climber. But as you're going up the main wall, there's another little ledge you can get out. There's a couple of ledges you can get out onto, but one of the first ones is actually one of those hidden bomb walls that gets you into a fairy fountain where you play the did you like you throw a bomb into the fairy fountain, and then she appears and asks like, did you throw a silver or a gold bomb in here? And if you're honest, then you get rewarded with a bigger bomb bag. So it's that.
I didn't do this.
It's ye old huntsman folk tale again, or woodcutter.
I didn't do it either.
Bit. I didn't do it this time. I think I did it my first playthrough, but yeah, it's a whole thing. Yeah. Other than that, there's another little ledge where there's not much we can do yet, and then there's the actual summit where things get real.
Yeah, they do. And also, what is up with Hyrule's weather? I mean, am I right? You take a mushroom from one side of the summit where it's sunny and dry and you need water, you're dying, possibly dehydrated. Yeah, you take a mushroom, launch over the gap between both summits, and then you launch over the Crenel. And what is this, like dueling peaks in Breath of the Wild? I mean, you launch over, and then the other side's like downpouring. Poseidon's mad. It's raining. Like what?
The audacity of the game to be like, hey, look, a rainstorm. Also, you have to be a Minish now. Like, really?
And the thing about that is, when you become a Minish, the raindrops when you're just walking like don't do anything to you.
Right.
But the second you get into like the little tiny like crevice that you have to go through to get to the other side, all of a sudden the raindrops just pour down on you. But the whole time you're walking, nothing.
Right. It's like you shrink down, you walk around normal, and then you get into like the little lane, right? And suddenly it's like Saving Private Ryan, like there's a grenade flash and a big ringing in your ears. And like, we gotta move.
And then you get out, and even though it's still downpouring, it's also just K.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it running up to it. It was when I got out of it that I'm like, oh, but the rain's fine now. Gotcha.
Yeah. Makes no sense.
Just had to have a little drama in the middle there. Just for the fun of it. But yeah, we do What is essentially a sliding box puzzle, except it's a boulder. Then we use that to build a bridge by plugging up a hole in the ground. And that's magical. I did it in one try. I was pretty happy about that.
Same.
My Pokemon Red and
boulder's
Blue
good.
took over.
Right.
That boulder's got some nice rolling animations to it.
Mm.
Unlike red and blue.
Where you use strength and it looks like your guy just like stubs his toe on it and then it just slides a space
Yeah,
every time.
exactly.
Innate
You
strength.
actively have to sit there and wait for it to stop moving too. It's like a whole 2-second freeze every time you hit it.
Yeah.
That sound effect for it though was crisp though.
Mm.
Kush, 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 kush.
Yeah.
Kush, kush. Yeah.
Wow. Some core memories being unlocked here.
Give me some nostalgia.
Some nostalgia.
Some nostalgia.
Dose of nostalgia. Yikes. All right. So, once we get through that rolling boulder puzzle, we get some more moving block puzzles, but these ones are kind of more of a railroad than anything. I mean, I don't even know if there's a way to truly mess up the puzzle that we get to next, but it's a lot of boulders and blocks that just move to let you through. I think maybe when you get to the end, there's one of those 3 blocks where you gotta like push the sides out and then push the one in the middle to one of the sides, and then you can mess up there. But other than that, every block can kind of just move the way it has to. So that was kind of cool.
First tried that one as well.
Nice.
Ooh.
And other than that, I don't know. I mean, there was notably one puzzle where you had to throw a bomb across the gap to hit a switch to make the bridge grow. And it was just kind of introducing that kind of switch because I don't think we've had that kind of switch anywhere else in the game yet. And when you look at it, it looks like a button that you should step on, but instead it's a strike switch. So, yeah.
Yeah, bombing it wasn't my first. Like, I was looking at it, going like, "What is this?" And then finally, I'm like, "I'm just gonna throw a bomb at it," and it worked. But I didn't really expect it to work.
Huh.
Yeah, I tried to use this technique in a different place earlier, back when I couldn't find the guard with the spin attack. I was trying. There was a one of those holes with the rock right next to it. That's kind of like, "Oh, you got to the other side, now you have a shortcut back." But I was like, "I want to get over there now." So I tried to time it where I threw the bomb, and before it hit the boulder and then fell into the hole, it actually just like hit the boulder and blew up to see if I can get anywhere with that. And nope,
Nah,
those rocks don't blow up, man.
gotcha.
So
What's up?
there's one. I think there's like 2 more rooms after that room, and the room that I was talking about earlier in the cast is the room that I'm stuck in, and I'm looking at it right now actually in the game, and I'm thinking about it. Can you move? So the room is basically a bunch of rocks, and then there's a boulder you have to push from another one of the boulder puzzles. So you roll that baby over to a hole, and then that gets you the ability to push the statue out of your way.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, is there a way to pull the statue backwards?
Yeah, those statues that you're talking about, you can hold your trigger button to hold on to them and then pull them backwards.
See, I thought I was stuck because when you go down to the mine, which is just the next room down the stairs, when you come back, the statue is in front of the rock. So I was like, oh, I'm railroaded. Because I was gonna go back once I found out that there's the fountain, the fairy fountain, but now I see you can just pull it back.
Yeah, I
Just
almost
ain't
want to
one of
go all
those
the way
straight
back to
puzzles.
town and get a better rupee bag and then go back up the mountain
Climb back up. Well,
for
hey,
the
you got the
next,
grip ring now.
next bit of the adventure. Right? Yeah, it should be quick. That's one of the things I like about this game is that the backtracking is really quick. Like they introduce stuff like those, like that shortcut, just to make it nicer if you want to go back and forth between areas. It doesn't actually ask you to backtrack that often, but when it does, it's not It's not like Skyward Sword where you have to ride your Loftwing out and then dive through a loading screen and then, you know, venture through an area that you've been to before. Like it's different. Like it's just like, oh, I gotta go back. Yeah, no problem. Couple rolls and a skip, and you're there.
How's a
And
ring
if
help us climb though?
and if that wasn't enough, they also have a fast travel mechanic, so it becomes even better down the line.
Well, you see, the ring was actually enchanted by a professional rock climber in Hyrule. It's the Hyrule Olympics, and he's one of the best. He won the championships a few times. So the ring is enchanted, so whoever wears it just gains the ability to climb walls real fast.
So the real ring was the friends we made along the way.
This should be the episode title.
Friends we make along the way.
I mean, there's quite a few friends we make along the way. I don't think we talked about him, but there's actually an old dude, little hermit, in one of the caves near the summit.
I found him.
I don't know what he does
the
for you.
I don't remember what the hermit did, but yeah.
I know. I remember. It was actually useless, and I was kind of like, really? Like, you're gonna tell me about it? So he's like extremely close to the summit. Like,
yeah.
Before you get to like the rain part, he's on the other summit. There's like a little place you can go. So you've gone pretty far. I mean, there's an extensive amount of ground you have to cover, an extensive amount of bombs and walls you have to break, and things you got to suck up. And so his word of advice to you is like, oh, wow, I don't get many visitors out here. Well, since you're here, I'm going to tell you a really big secret that'll help you adventure, farther into this place. If you see any areas that look a little weird or any cracks in the walls, you could definitely blow them up with some bombs if you have them. Like, oh, really? That would have helped me, maybe like the base of the mountain.
Right, when all the other hidden walls were.
Now you get to backtrack.
I feel like he was there to try to give you a hint about the fairy fountain. That was on the same wall, but it's really convoluted when he's like through a different doorway. Like he's already kind of past that. Like you probably weren't questioning it if you already made it past and didn't see it. So I don't know. Yeah. But we did meet some people along the way. I mean, we didn't even talk about some of the new enemies too, like the Helmosaurs or the silver choo-choos that are like indestructible, I guess.
I mean, you can sword them.
I haven't figured out how to fight them yet.
You can just hit him with your sword.
I don't feel like that did anything.
When he's like
no enemy on that mountain I couldn't slay.
Yeah, he's in choo-choo mode, not like pufferfish. Yeah. And I think in this game, I was looking it up. They call the Helmosaurs iron masks, and they look like when you take their mask off with the vacuum, they look like parrots, like
they look
really
like a
fat,
bird.
chubby parrots that ate way too much.
Angry parrots.
I actually didn't fight any of that. As low as like you got to take their masks off if you want to fight them. And then I was like, but I don't because I have mineral water and I don't know if it's gonna go cold, so I just ran past them all. But like, yeah, I know you just take the gust jar and you can suck their mask right off, and it's.
And if you keep sucking, so you can like suck the mask off and stop, but if you keep holding it to gain more power, you just suck them in.
Oh really?
Yeah, you can spit them up against the wall. They get scared. Their eyes get real big.
That's adorable. Man.
But they're like fat little parrots. Doesn't make no sense. I don't know. It's like the Helmarok King, little minions. I don't know.
Yeah, I got no answers. I mean, they seem more related to the Helmarok King than the other Helmaroks, so that's a thing. But yeah, we make it through this little ending cave. And then we find, what is it like? It kind of looks like some pipes or something. I don't even know. No, that's later. Sorry.
That's about the point we just get into the mines, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So we come out of that last cave, and I think we have to go back to being Minish size, but we pretty much can just go directly into the Melari's mines. If I remember right. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Those
Yeah.
boulder rooms are the last ones I really remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the statue room is like one of the last, and there's like a room with like a treasure chest and a choo-choo. I think there's a kinstone in there if you can figure out that puzzle, and then I'm pretty sure the next room after that is the mine.
Waste of my time.
There's so many kinstone pieces on that mountain. My goodness.
Were there?
I got like 4. And I
Oh.
think 1 or 2 heart containers. I know I got 1
Whole containers.
for a fact. There might have been 2 on there that I got.
He's probably talking about pieces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sitting at like 9 hearts over now. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh. He's doing all the shrines, bro.
So this is where we saved our game and quit. But if you did walk even into just where the title screen is, you will see a mountain Minish kind of at work.
Spoilers.
Is it a spoiler?
I
He's
didn't
just the
walk
one.
any.
I didn't talk to him. I just saw him when I was saving my game. I was like, oh, look, a mountain Minish.
Was
They
he
notably
kawaii?
don't wear the red hats or the regular like little green robe. They're dressed completely different, and they have like blonde dreads for some reason.
Yo.
Pretty sick. Like something out of
Welcome
Rock
to the
Out.
mountain, Minishman.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, that's our adventure for today. I don't know. How are you guys feeling about this next section? Or like, I guess, what's your anticipation level?
I want a Minish to be like a just grayed out like giant beard, does not give a crap about anything Minish. Just mining against the wall, just like, hey man, how's it going? Yeah, I'm here. What do you want? I'm looking forward to that. If there isn't one, I'm gonna be sad. I'm on break.
I'm on break.
Well, from what we've heard before, it's probably Melari and his 7 apprentices. So you're hoping that Melari is like a bearded man? Or one of
Yes.
his apprentices. Okay,
Yes.
great.
I want a good dungeon with a cool boss. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I think you will be pleased.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yo.
Hey.
I'm looking forward to it too. This was one of my favorite parts of the game, if I remember right. So it should be a good time. We should be having a lot of fun next time we get together to talk.
Is the boss the friends we met?
They're all the friends that we made along the way combined into a giant blob.
It's bleak.
That's like it's a Dark Souls kind of boss right there. I took all your friends and turned them into a blob. I figured you'd like it a lot.
What a Dark Souls boss that would be. All the NPCs that died along the way is just a giant blob with their powers.
I feel like Dark Souls has done 2 ideas within that idea you just said separately.
Mm-hmm.
They've definitely done the giant conglomeration blob of somebody, and then they've done, hey, why don't you just fight a bunch of the NPCs that you've met along the way?
Yeah.
But they have not done both of those ideas at the same time and said, hey, check it out. Trauma. Like, this is a nightmare fuel just for you.
Yeah.
Boss named Trauma Ball.
Yeah, try sleeping tonight. Good luck. Nah. All right. So, yeah, I think that's it, guys. I think we're gonna call this an episode. So,
Sounds good.
thank y'all for listening to our latest episode of A4NB4Y. We are now at the peak of Mount Crenel. We will be going into the mines for real next time. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, hope you all have a good couple weeks, and we'll catch you next time on A4NB4Y.
You guys are the real friends we made along the way.
Mount Crenel in the house. Did you get all that?